I'm not sure if you've heard of this before, but they say your thoughts are your life. And that's really true because the way you think determines the way you feel, which in turn determines the way you act. And if you control your thoughts, you can control your feelings and actions. And so by controlling our thoughts, we can control our lives. This is the premise behind the book Your Thoughts, Your Life by Marcus Aurelius. So in today's episode, we will be discussing some of the key ideas from this powerful book. Let's begin. The first one is that the only things that are truly ours are our thoughts. In this book, Marcus Aurelius talks about how everything in our life is impermanent and subject to change. Our relationships, our possessions, even our reputation or status, all these things are subject to change and ultimately beyond our control. The only thing that is truly ours is our thoughts and perceptions about the world. And he writes, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. By recognizing that only our thoughts are truly under our control, we can focus our energy more effectively and stop wasting it on worrying about things that are out of our hands. The second idea that I want to talk about in this book is that we must not fear death. And I know this might sound kind of scary, but let me explain what Marcus Aurelius means by this. Death is inevitable for all living things, and yet most people, according to Marcus Aurelius, live their lives as if they were immortal. They avoid thinking about death, even though it's going to come for all of us. This avoidance, he says, makes us miss out on the opportunity to truly appreciate our lives. When we realize that our time is limited, we can start to prioritize what is truly important to us and stop wasting our time on things that don't matter. Marcus Aurelius writes, "What do I have to do with the dead? As long as I live, I have to do what I can for the living." This quote shows us that instead of fearing death, we should focus on living our lives to the fullest while we can. Instead of worrying about what happens after we die, we should focus on making the most of the time we have now. Next up, we have to focus on doing our best rather than being perfect. In his book, Marcus Aurelius talks about how it's impossible to be perfect all the time. We are all human and we will make mistakes, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't try to be the best version of ourselves. What matters, he says, is that we do our best and try to be good people. If we focus too much on being perfect, we will end up doing nothing. But if we focus on doing our best, we will accomplish much more. So instead of worrying about being perfect, we should focus on doing our best and trying to improve every day. Remember, progress is always better than perfection. Now, another idea from this book is that you should accept what you cannot change. This is something that I personally struggle with a lot, but it's so important to remember. There are many things in our lives that we cannot change. It might be tempting to try to control everything, but that's just setting ourselves up for disappointment. As Marcus Aurelius says, you cannot control everything, but you can choose how to respond to what happens. And that's the only real freedom you have. By learning to accept the things we cannot change, we can free ourselves from a lot of unnecessary stress and worry, and we can focus on the things that are under our control. This is an important lesson that I am still learning, but I try to remind myself of it every day. The next point that I want to share with you from this book is to use pain and suffering to make you stronger. Pain and suffering are inevitable parts of life, but as Marcus Aurelius points out, they are also opportunities for growth and self-improvement. He says, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. When we face pain or suffering, we have the choice of either giving into it or using it to make us stronger. For example, when I was younger, I used to get really upset when people criticized me. But now I see any criticism as an opportunity to learn and grow. I ask myself, what is this person saying that I could improve on? And I try to use that feedback to become better. So the next time you experience pain or suffering, remember that it is also an opportunity for growth. Embrace it and use it to make yourself stronger. Another thing that Marcus Aurelius talks about in this book is the importance of valuing others. He says that everyone we meet is valuable and has something to teach us. We should approach every interaction with a mindset of learning rather than teaching. This is a great reminder for me, especially when I'm interacting with people who have different perspectives than me. Sometimes I forget that they might have something valuable to teach me, and I go into the interaction with the mindset of sharing my own perspective. But this is not the best way to approach things. By adopting a mindset of learning, we can become more open-minded and understanding towards others, and we can also build stronger relationships. Another thing I learned from this book is that we should focus on what we have rather than what we don't have. When we focus on what we don't have, we are likely to feel ungrateful and discontent with our lives. But when we focus on what we do have, no matter how little it seems, we can find contentment and happiness. This is a powerful mindset shift that can help us appreciate our lives more. The last thing that I want to talk about in this book is the importance of living in the present moment. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that the only moment we truly have is now. The past is gone and the future hasn't happened yet. So the only time we truly have is now. When we focus on the present moment, we can appreciate our lives more and enjoy the things that bring us happiness. Overall, this book is a great reminder of the things that are within our control and the things that are not within our control. It helps us focus on what truly matters in life and to let go of the things we cannot change. I highly recommend this book to anyone who wants to improve their life and become the best version of themselves. And that's it for today's episode. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss an episode. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. The phrase "your thoughts, your life" reflects one of Marcus Aurelius' most profound Stoic teachings. The quality of your thoughts determines the quality of your existence. This idea is rooted in the principle that our inner world shapes our outer reality. While we cannot always control what happens around us, we have complete control over our mental attitude, and that control ultimately defines our experience of life. Marcus Aurelius believed that the mind is the architect of destiny. Every thought we allow to take root influences our character, emotions, and actions. Positive, virtuous thoughts lead to inner peace, strength, and harmony, while negative or irrational thoughts breed anxiety, anger, and misery. In Meditations, he reminds us repeatedly that the external world does not harm us. What truly disturbs us is the opinion we form about events. Therefore, mastering our thoughts is the key to freedom and serenity. The Stoic emperor warns against letting the mind be corrupted by fear, envy, or uncontrolled desires. He teaches that we should examine every thought and ask, does this align with reason, justice, and virtue? By doing so, we maintain clarity and integrity, even in chaos. This discipline transforms challenges into opportunities for growth, because when our thoughts remain steady and rational, external hardships lose their power to shake us. Moreover, this principle encourages gratitude and perspective. Marcus emphasizes that life is fleeting, and everything we encounter is temporary. By focusing on noble thoughts, compassion, humility, courage, we rise above trivial concerns and live in accordance with nature and reason. In this sense, your thoughts, your life is not just advice, it is a call to self-mastery. Ultimately, Marcus Aurelius teaches that happiness and freedom are not gifts from the outside world, they are creations of the mind. If we nurture our thoughts with wisdom, we build a life of meaning, peace, and resilience. If we neglect them, we become prisoners of our own illusions. Thus, our destiny is not written by fate, but forged by the silent power of our thinking. Marcus Aurelius' statement, "Your thoughts, your life," conveys a timeless truth central to Stoic philosophy. What you think shapes who you are and how you live. Every experience we have is filtered through our mind, and the interpretation we give to events determines whether we find peace or turmoil. External circumstances are neutral. It is our judgment that gives them meaning. Aurelius believed that the mind is the most powerful tool a person possesses. Thoughts act like seeds. Plant positive, rational, and virtuous thoughts, and your life will reflect harmony, courage, and wisdom. Allow negative, irrational, or destructive thoughts to dominate, and you create a life filled with fear, anger, and dissatisfaction. In other words, the quality of your life never rises above the quality of your thoughts.